Alright, good morning, good day, Illuvium community. How are we doing today? Good to see you once again. As I just realized, I'm talking with my microphone way too far, so I was probably a little bit quiet there for a second. My apologies. Hustling to get the stream going today, but happy to be here nonetheless. Of course, 'tis the season. It's wintertime. It's snowing like crazy over here, and it's definitely rather dry. I know I had one of the craziest live experiences during the IPL broadcast yesterday. It was so cold and dry in my room that right as we were doing the call for the final bit of the grand finals there, my nose was bleeding profusely. And we still have to keep going on to camera. I didn't say nothing about it, but in between times where I was on camera, I had a Kleenex shoved up my nose. But 'tis the season, gotta adjust for it appropriately. But of course, the IPL 500 just happened last night, yesterday afternoon rather. And Slooper finally got a win here, which is good to see. He's been in the last couple of grand finals rather consistently, and then the only reason he didn't win in the last one was because we had a different format. Had the most points in that IPL 1000, but of course the points was just the unlock to get to the checkmate portion, but there was no checkmate format yesterday. So on pure points alone, multiple wins throughout the grand finals, Slooper does get it. It's good to see other players as well, like say Fox Spirit finding a fantastic finish for themselves. But everybody did absolutely fantastic. So please, if I didn't necessarily name drop you, still very, very good to see you up there. Promise you that. In terms of today's plan for the stream, there isn't a whole heck of a lot to actually go over here today, but one thing that did come to my attention, I think it was at the end of Wednesday's stream, so this is a little bit older news, but I still want to go over it because it could still be relevant, is the current Testnet patch and what it is going to end up changing in Illuvium Arena going forward. After that, we'll hop in with a little bit of ranked. Other than the last time they had the opportunity to play ranked, I think it was on Wednesday on stream. I maybe got one or maybe two, if I was lucky, games in after that. And then I haven't been able to touch it other than watching it through IPL and casting it, so looking forward to giving that a shot again. No Illuvium 0 coverage here today for myself because I am just plain and simple. I am in progress of leveling building my scanners all to level 3. Of course, we got all of the tier 1 biodata. We got all the tier 2 biodata. Now we are going for tier 3. But it is a little bit of a more expensive upgrade. And while I have like bits and pieces, I might have one scanner or two scanners done on each plot right now. I'm just going to try and save my fuel until it's time to burst, basically. Get them all done all at once, so to speak, if that makes sense. So we'll just hop right into, not zero, hop into arena quickly after that. Just trying to organize my bits here. And of course, as always, I have the chats of every platform that we're live here on today all active. So whether that be Twitch, YouTube, or X, I see you. You're more than welcome to say hi, or if you have any comments or questions as we go through anything today, you're more than welcome to drop a comment or a message yourself. But it, of course, is not mandatory. I'm just happy that you're here. Without further ado, I do want to take a look here at the Testnet. Here. Am I going into the Shadow Realm? Yep, I'm going into the Shadow Realm. Let's fix that up real quick. Let's go back here. I had this set up not even a second ago, and it was working properly, but just like outside, it seems to be snowing. How we doing now? Alright, cool. I prep and things break anyway, just the name of the game it seems, but it is okay. So, Of course, this is the test, so this is what's currently on the beta realm for, or the alpha realm, whatever it happens to be, before patch 1.15, the Testnet patch. And the big thing that they're going after here in this patch is going to be, let me kill the music here so I can actually hear myself think. So patch 1.15, of course, is currently on the test net, and the big thing here is that they're trying to make each game faster. Currently, I believe the average game time they have it about here is about 38 minutes, which is a little bit on the lengthier side. It is basically the same kind of length of, say, something like a League of Legends, for example, and it's around the same time as about like a teamfight tactics game. So they're trying to make it so that Illuvium, one of the benefits of playing Illuvium is that it's a faster game. So the first thing that they're going to be ending up doing is that the draft deck, so the carousel, when you're selecting your Illuvials when they're going around the circle, so that is going to be removed. And as you can see here, it was one of the less popular features, especially since it broke game flow. I absolutely agree. And it caused a lot of balance problems, I feel like, as well, because you needed, with the regions, for example, you wanted to try and do different things to make it exciting, and you would use the draft deck to try to make the draft deck more exciting, but the way that it would end up being handled would cause big, like, major swings. I know the draft deck was meant to be a catch-up mechanic, so that the people who are with a little bit less health or lower on the health board try to find a way to catch up, but it was causing way too polarizing swings, whether it be legendary augments on the board or whether it was, I think it was Crystal Shores we had before, where it would have the middle stage evolutions, the stage 2s on the draft deck. Like, they were fun, but in like a competitive setting, it was very, very polarizing, so I don't blame people for not necessarily liking it. So, fair enough there. They're also going to be removing Brightland Steps, where you start with 130 HP. Just makes the game go on much, much longer. As a competitive, like in a tournament setting, like I did like Brightland Steps because it definitely would give you a different style of play, like a different kind of game, and different kind of strategies were definitely necessary. But I also see that there was issues with, say, sit and go formats if you got hit with Brightland Steps too many times. I think on average, players in these sit and goes get about maybe 6, maybe 7 games. Let's just say 6. You get, say, 6 games in. If you get Brightland Steps, I think maybe twice, or God forbid 3 times, you might actually get stuck only playing 5 games in a sit and go, and that is a whole game's worth of points that you're going to be behind everybody above you, to the point where you can have like all top 3s and still probably not make us the IPL, which was definitely heartbreaking. So with trying to make the games faster on average, and then honestly tournament balance, I don't mind Brightland Steps leaving us here. The base amount of credits gains per round going up by 2 is going to be rather nice as well. And I can see a little bit less punishment, or I'm actually hard to tell. It lets you go for like rolling compositions a little bit easier, but at the same time, it means your opponents are going to be saving their credits that much easier. So a bit of a give and take here. But this on top of this next change is what is going to be really, really intriguing me, because the amount of experience needed to actually level up now, or the amount of credits needed to level up, is so much lower across the board. It's beautiful. You can get to, like, it used to take, trying to get to level 10, for example, it took you 80 experience. It took a ton. You would never really see level 10 unless it was like a last-ditch effort in the final round of a game. But no, like, getting to level 10 like somewhat quickly, getting to level 8, level 9 somewhat quickly are actually going to be valuable strategies, I imagine, with this change. So I'm very excited to see how it's going to be going. Can't wait to get my hands on it, to say the least. They're also going to be adjusting the amount of damage you get when losing, which I imagine, looking at the board here, for at least the middle rounds here. So, excuse me. The pretty much the main portion of the game actually is going to be faster. It's going to hurt more to lose, which is kind of scary, but kind of exciting at the same time. Because They're adjusting these modifiers big time. Because I know personally, when I'm doing casting for Illuvium, I used to kind of think that, say, you had the nothing part with rounds 1 to 3 because it's just NPC stuff, and then one um, wet noodle fight with whichever tier zeros you happen to have. Then round 4, that one of course is interesting because that's when the weapons come out. But then there was this lull between round 5 to say about round, let's say, appropriately here, around round 13, where there are like fights happening, but nobody's like truly established their board. There isn't really no consequences. The health that you lose is very, very minimal as long as you're not um, completely like getting destroyed. As long as you're actually playing the game and have a full bench or a full field of alluvials, for the most part, the damage that you took was somewhat negligible. Now it's actually going to be a little bit more painful, and I look forward to seeing how that ends up happening. Then, first steps towards localization. Anytime there's anything in regards to getting more languages on board, of course, always a win in my book. Looks like we have Italian, Portuguese, which is going to be a huge one there. Filipino under review should be added soon as part of the update. That's awesome. I'm glad. Very, very glad to see that. Backend connectivity improved. Fewer disconnects. That is good to see. I know personally, at least I reboot my game after every 2 games, and I seem to be fine. But any sort of improvement that they could do on the back end to keep things consistent and smooth is a win in my book. Augment relocation controls. Occasionally dragged alluvials instead of augments. I've definitely done that before. When trying to move augments, I have to hold shift now. So, okay, fair enough. A little bit of a learning curve, or not a learning curve, but something to remember. I know I'm going to be clicking on the augments and wondering, why the heck am I not moving my augments or anything like that? But I got to remember about shift now. That a nice change. Opponents credits in the tab menu. So this is going to be absolutely incredible because I don't think this is just for the spectator system either. It's going to show credits for everybody as you are competing. Yeah, actually, the screenshot, now that I look at it a little bit deeper, it's a player's point of view. You see their shop. That's a player that's able to see exactly how many credits each player has. And that's going to be a rather welcome update for sure. You can kind of plan around everybody else at the same time. You could see that somebody's winning, and okay, but they actually have a very, very low income, so they are really pushing themselves. Okay, I beat this player, but okay, they're still sitting on a ton of credits. I got to worry about them later on. Or God forbid somebody is winning and they still have a ton of credits, then you know that there's somebody to look out for. To see the exact number is interesting. I know, say for TFT, for example, they would put little indicators on the side of the benches so you would have thresholds. So like one dot would show up for 10 gold, 2 for 20, 3 for 30, so on and so forth. But I like this a lot, actually. It's upfront, and I'm curious as to how the players will use it, if that'll change their play. But at the very, very least, here on the commentary desk, we get exactly the information that we're looking for, and we don't have to be guessing as to who still has gold or not. I know Paz had a couple of different overlays, the little box at the bottom, over the last 2 IPLs that kind of acted similar to this, but now it'll just be built right into the client, so that's what I love to see. Post-match screen shows how much exact XP each Alluvial learned. Okay, that's always good. A little bit more clarity, we'll take it. Team planner while queuing. This is just something I like to fiddle around with, or I would have liked to fiddle around with when in queue, and I'm glad that we can actually do that in this next patch. Regional battle boards, so that the default battle board matches the region. I really, really like that, but honestly, where do I buy the Taiga Boreal skin? Because personally, of course, I'm Canadian, I like the snow. I would absolutely love to actually have this battle board. Where can I get it, please? But I do like that so that it's not just Sanctum Mesa as the default. a nice little spin to keep things visually pleasing. Imprint tailoring. So this here, when people would put units from the board to bench to try and tailor their crates and hit a specific synergy. Interesting. All right, so a couple changes here this time. So the bench now counting towards this is a nice change. I definitely thought it was very, very strange that you can just throw all your stuff off the bench and try to manipulate the crate to being the one that you want. It was an interesting little pro tactic, but was it necessary? Probably not. So the bench now counting is going to make things a little bit more difficult for players that do that. And then nudge not guarantee, where the formula is tweaked for a high but never 100% chance of this highly stacked synergy. So that's a little bit interesting as well. I see anyone actually trying to do the tailoring now, and God forbid they don't actually hit the thing, having a hard time and flipping out. But it's nice that they're adjusting it to not completely get rid of it, but make it at least a little bit more reasonable. Make it a little bit more tougher, I suppose, as well for everybody. Because if you're buying specifically one type of alluvial, like let's just say rogues, if you're buying just rogues and you only have rogues on the bench, then okay, that's perfectly fine. But I can imagine with compositions like, say, anyone who's playing bulwarks with scions or aegis or something along those lines, bulwark fighters, and then you try to tailor to get fighters and you end up with bulwark or something like that. Like, it'd be a little bit harder for those compositions that aren't solely focused on one type of alluvial. So it'll be interesting to see how the professionals adjust with this change. Bug fixes. A bug that prevents units on bench from being sold during fights. There was many times that I would try and click and drag alluvials as a fight happening, and it would not let me. I would have to use the C key on it instead to sell it, which thankfully was a nice workaround, but just making it so that it's more consistent is just nice. Prince units were being swapped while on the edge of the bench. Interesting. Causing augment component pop-ups to close unexpectedly. This happened to me so many times, and it is infuriating. You have to play a bit of a guessing game every time it happens, because the augments would pop up for just a split second, and then it would disappear. But if you clicked on the screen where the augment was, you would still select it. So that first couple seconds when it opens up, you had to really pay attention and try to click the one that you want just by that maybe 2-second window of seeing the augment before it disappeared. I'm glad that they're fixing this. Bug where region descriptions were obstructed. Okay, fair enough. Where Affinity class UI and data failed to load. Okay, yeah, that happened a couple of times. I definitely remember that. I'm glad they're fixing that. For a unit briefly, yes, okay. Fix the unit where the unit briefly disappeared when placed from bench to battle board. This happened a handful of times, and it was extremely irritating, because what would oftentimes happen, the unit would show up when the battle would start, but it would go into the default position as if you just let it automatically place it on the board. Which, if you're playing something like a Scion, like I think I had put a Sinalf or something onto the board before, and it would disappear. And it's like, great, I'm going up against fighters, and I just put my Sinalf right in the front line. That's going to get killed immediately. So I'm thankful that this is getting fixed. New camera positions in spectator mode, always a welcome change. Fixed an issue in casual lobbies where the player count didn't update. Kidoki. Balance changes for the alluvials. Again, of course, this is all still testnet. Everything said before and after this comment is still, of course, subject to change. So the Red Panda line, we're going to see their Omega come out a little bit later now. A little bit more energy cost. It's a relatively fast casting Omega as is, so I don't think this 20 increase is going to hurt it that badly, but hopefully keeps it still relevant. With the Rota line here, we're going to see their attack damage reduced, it looks like. when it is a Revo. Fair enough. Okay. Interesting. Poor Revo. I think we were touching on it a little bit during the IPL. It feels like that Revo or Gyro just really has not, or especially Gyro, just hasn't been relevant in a very, very long time. And that line is going to continue to get hit. But when you're playing with Dust, it is a little bit scary. So poor thing's still going to be knocked down a little bit. Affinities and classes, Fighter was dominating the meta. Yes, it was. Gonna turn it down ever so slightly. Looks like 1% pretty much at everything, with the exception of what looks like Fighter 5. It'll go down by 2%. Nature Threshold 6 was underperforming by a long shot. I definitely am happy to see that this is getting a relatively small buff for their health regeneration. Otter 6 was underperforming, apparently, so we're going to see a slight energy regeneration buff. Rogues slightly underperforming across the board, but they're just going to slightly adjust their crit chance. Fair enough. Mud closer to fair, but a little bit over effective to the difficulty. And then the fire buff basically helped Mud, so they're actually taking a rather large hit in the later stages here. A 2% and a 3% reduction in the stolen AD and attack damage and Omega power, which is kind of odd because I know at least right now, Mud doesn't feel like the insta-win combination that it used to be. So seeing it nerfed again could be very, very problematic, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends up turning out. Berserkers are going to be getting a rather decent nerf, it looks like, this time by, with a 5%, and 15% reduction, actually, on their attack damage for every third hit. And their Omnivamp is also going to be hit by 2, 4, and 5%, respectively. Magma, what's happening with Magma? It continues to be a solid choice overall, nearly at a reasonable spot, but it's going to get nerfed again. So 5 area damage per second reduction on the first 2 stages of it. Inferno, what are they going to do here? Overlap of Inferno and Fire made Inferno 2 dominant. They're going to adjust it accordingly. Very, very small, a small nerf to the first section, going down by 0.25, but a slight buff at, it would be Inferno 3. So, bumping that up to 0.25. Verdant underperforming, I mean, this is interesting because we are seeing way more Verdant now. And it is actually performing rather decently, especially with bunkered up Scion Invoker kind of combinations. But Verdant will get a buff here towards what looks like specifically Verdant 4. So Threshold 4 is the one that's underperforming. The other ones will stay the same. Bloom 4 underperforming. We're going to get a nice, pretty decent max health buff. Spore in general, I agree, has just been underperforming. We don't see Spore like at all, but healing on Omega is going to be going up alongside energy burnt on the enemies. Tsunami 2 and 3 underperforming, it does look like. I would definitely agree. It's gotten better, but it's still not quite there yet. We're going to see some buffs across the board. Slayer going to get a better reward considering the difficulty, so looks like 5 more damage early on. Weapons, the Boomerang is getting whacked. It is going to go down in terms of its energy, or not its energy damage. Its attack damage is going down by 5. Energy cost is also going up, so it's going to take longer to actually cast your Omega. One of their amplifiers is going to get a massive health reduction as well as some attack damage reduced. Ripple Flail is going to get whacked once again here, so 5 damage gone, 25 Omega damage gone, and then we are going to see some amplifiers get hit as well. The area of effect one's taking a pretty serious hit, down to 100, and then the stacking attack speed one is going down by 1%. Vinebound Cleaver going to get hit again here, 50 health gone, 5 resistance is gone, 5 attack damage gone. Arrow Edge is also going to end up getting hit here, 5 damage gone, and the ghostly haste where it gets a ton of attack speed, not as much anymore, down to 35. The rogue water weapon, the tidal shiv, is going to get a little bit of a health buff. The quake maulers, which we're actually seeing a lot more use of in the last IPL, going to get a 50 health buff. The elderwood staff, so that's the nature empath weapon, is going to have its energy cost reduced by 20, get those shields and heals out faster. The Tempest Lance, we're actually going to see a buff across the board. 100 health, 50 damage, and 50 shield. The Earthgraph Scepter, so that being the Scion Earth weapon, is going to have its energy cost down by 10. And then the Grove Sword, the Nature Sword, is going to go up in attack by 5. Once again, Luminara's Curse here for suits is going to get a buff 0.5 seconds onto the curse. Staggering Strike is going to see an attack speed debuff go from negative 50 to negative 40. So that's the one where you would intentionally destroy your attack speed but make each attack stun and just hit harder. So the debuff is actually going to be reduced, so might be a good utility option. Ironclad Blessing, the Hex radius is going up by 5. And now, the Forge augments, of course, they're all... I still got to remember them all by their actual new names, because it's... I still don't like these new names, not at all, but it is what it is. Gotta learn it. I do know, of course, the phasing one, the additional health and shield going down by 5%. Mega Reactor down by 5%. The Siphon is going to lose its resistances, the amount that is stolen, from 20 to 15. Hyperforce, so this is the old Chrono Flux, where every attack would give you attack speed. It did come with some base attack speed. It did have 10 at one point. It is now at 5, and no longer will it have any base attack speed at all. It is strictly going to be used as a stacking item with a little bit of attack damage on it. Disruptive Force Reactor, attack speed on takedown is going to be reduced by 1%, and then the clumsy duration, so this is the old Fate Sealer, is going to go down by 1 second as well. Still going to be a good item in my opinion. Scythe Pulse Reactor going to see its piercing go up by 5%. Safeguard Void Reactor's Omega Power is going up by 5, and then the Munis Void Reactor going up by 5. Legendary augments are going to see some changes as well. So the Temporal Guard, where every single time you cast your Omega, you get a shield and a heal. That is going to have that shield go down in usage by 1 second. The Adaptive Plates, the Hex radius for that is going to be extended by 5. Life Storm is going to have its Hex radius increased to 30. And I still think it's probably one of the worst legendary augments in the game. But they're kind of moving towards the right direction. I think this Life Storm, honestly, if it's going to be any sort of value, to me, it needs to actually cover almost the whole board. If it's healing based off of just a smaller area around it, I don't think we're ever going to ever see Life Storm have any sort of value outside of maybe a bunker composition with Scions. But part of me would love to see a Life Storm that you would say put onto a brawler or something like that can cover, say, 3/4 of the arena. That might be me just smoking something, but that's how I personally see it. And then the Absorption Cell, so this is the old Eternal Hunger on attack damage on takedown with crit chance as well, going up to 10 and 10%. Drone augments are going to see a change as well. The Champion's Focus, where you focus a tier 5 unit to get a major buff. That augment is going to go up by 5% across the board. The Resonant Bond, where you just damage amp everything nearby, is going to see a 1% increase in Stage 2 and Stage 3 Alluvials. The Tier 0 Overdrive drone augment had absolutely no use in the game. Absolutely just remove it. And with that, that is our testnet patches. I imagine this one's coming up close. I imagine that they want to get this patch out before the World Championships for the Illuvium Pro League, which means, in theory, we have about another week or two at the very, very latest that this patch can come out without ruining the experience for the World Championships. So, it'll be something I'm going to be keeping my eye on. I look forward to this patch. There are a lot of good things, big gameplay changes, big strategy changes, which is going to make everything super, super exciting, even more so than it usually already is. I know the leveling is probably going to be my favorite change, to be honest. And then I can't complain about the fact that the games go faster. I know personally I don't necessarily have that much time to sit and actually play a game, so if I can squeak them in because they're a little bit faster, I will be very, very happy. In terms of news, that's basically it for now. The Leviathan tournament is currently going on. But we're in the very, very early stages. And part of me wants to... Well, I'm not completely give my voice a rest. You know I'm going to be yapping anyway. But part of me wants to sneak a couple rounds in. Been a little while. Every time the weekend passes, get the Cassie IPL, I want to hop into a game shortly after that. Squeak a couple rounds in before I get sent back to the video editing cave. Okay. So what to play here today? I was about to hop into the team planner, but the patch isn't out yet. I can't do that yet. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. And this next couple of weeks is going to be pretty insane as well. With IPL 1000, of course, happening this weekend. After that, it's going to be the final call. The last chance qualifier of sorts. Hearing the format of it actually surprised me as on stream yesterday. A 24-hour sit and go? That is absolutely incredible. Yeah, 24 hours sit and go, but only I think it said your best 8 games count or something along those lines. Of course, the format could very well change, but when Paz announced that, it's like, oh my goodness, okay, at least in terms of time zones, that is never going to wreck anybody. But then there, of course, is the wildcard invites, which I found very, very interesting, because I see those wildcard invites as a way to try and get people outside of Illuvium into it, which in certain aspects, yes, it's absolutely a good thing, don't get me wrong. But I would feel so jaded if, let's just say, a different Teamfight Tactics Pro happens to get a wildcard slot. They didn't participate in the Illuvium season at all the entire season, but then they happen to join the World Finals and get a good placement in the World Finals. Part of me would be very, very frustrated as a long-time Illuvium community member. But there is good to be done as a whole to the game in terms of getting it onto people's radars, if that happens. Like, when we see Slooper, when we see Narkesh, when we've seen like other TFT players come on in and do very well in Illuvium, it does result with more players coming in to play the game, which I know, of course, is the point of the wildcard and the marketing side of things as is. But it would still hurt a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't be angry, but I would just be disappointed, if that makes sense. Alright, let's do this, and let's not punch my stream deck today and accidentally mute myself. We've got a legendary crate off the rip. It is Shard Bluff, so fair enough. The Latipo is here. Excuse me. I'm not going to open my legendary crate just yet. I really want to commit to the team that I'm going for beforehand, so I'm going to wait at least till level 4. See what I do end up getting. Load up on fighters. Fighters is always a good choice here in the patch as is. Of course, from what we were just reviewing, though, it very well could change into the next patches. Got a lot of Omega Power based augments as of this moment, so it's going to make things interesting here. Because in this instance, seeing so many Omega Power augments, I do want to maybe go for something Scion based, but at the same time, we'll have to see. I'm also very biased towards Scion, so I'm not 100% sure. In terms of this lobby, who do we even have here? We've got Luix, we got Bora, Forming, Halal, Boomer Mousepad, Badmech, and Declan, who's now a part of guilds. Okay. Seen Declan a few times in the off-stream games that I played. Did not see them as a part of guilds before, though, so that is new to me. Good to see. Luix being a part of guild now is kind of new as well. Luix is, of course, a couple-time IPL finalist and multi-time semifinalist, if I recall correctly. But let's take a look and see what we've got weapon-wise. Tidal Shiv, no thank you. Vinebound Cleaver, no thank you. Ripple Flail is available. Roll this. It's right there. I'd be foolish not to. Let's see what else is going on. There's already 2. There's already a lot of water at the same time. I think I do Flail in this instance here. Helps too that Caradulo is right, or Caribou is right here. I am going to end up... Okay, no, the Volante is going to jump into my Ranger. It's a perfect case scenario. I need to pick up that monkey. Hopefully I don't get punished for not taking the boomerang, but the fact that 2 people already have the boomerang kind of scared me away from it a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I do need to use my legendary crates. That probably would have been a difference maker here for me not losing to a damn Tipo of all things here in this battle. Okay, for the champions focus, no. Empath, Scion, okay, no thank you. Tier 3. It'd be nice. I don't know, I feel like I almost have to go for the Scion because I don't necessarily have the perfect option. What do we get? Berserker Fury. I'm not going to be able to get it on in time, but having the extra range onto a fighter to me is very, very valuable, so I'm going to end up picking that one up. Kind of sent my links to the gulag in this instance. My positioning was not there, so fair enough, going to get eaten alive on this one. It's only at this round that you get the thing, right? Yeah, there's no more legendary augments going to end up happening. Move this over here. Make you a Scion just because I can. What if I just did this to try and make it a little bit stronger? Just do something like this for now to hold the line in the meantime. Might not work, but let's see. My monkey, thankfully, is at least onto theirs. Can we take it down before that Leviathan's Fury gets too much value? We will take it down. The Doka should be able to take down my monkey. I need one more good shot here from my Tofi. It's not going to come out. So we'll take the big hits there. Alright. Level up. Dokas are around the corner. Now I can put Carrot Blue back out there. And what is everybody else doing at this instance? So Bora's got a bunch of fighters. Still very early here for forming, hard to tell. Luix looks like they have the remnants of what's going to be a break-focused water composition. Halal, spiders. Boomer, hard to tell. Looks like Scions for Declan. Maybe Scion, or no, there's a Rake there as well here for Badmax, so they're kind of all over the place, but there's one thing that I did not really see picked up, I don't think. And that is a little Riptor that I see right there in front of me. I'd love to be able to pick that one up. If not, that fighter chip would also be very, very valuable. In fact, I might just go for the fighter chip instead. See if I can boost up to 7 fighters quicker. Yeah, Luix knows what's up. If the Riptor wasn't on the opposite side of the board, I would have charged at it, but I couldn't guarantee that I was going to get it. I just wanted to at least make sure I had something. Something of at least decent value. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the Tofi. I'm going to bring Kling onto the board. Can I get something with attack speed? This doesn't actually work with Monkey, so I'm going to need Trinity? That kind of sucks. I'll go for Resonating, but I can't really put it onto Monkey just yet. Make you a fighter as well. I still have an Omega chip on the board, but it is okay. All things considered, this might not be bad if my Lynx and Monkey actually get into the fight, please. Emberling Rod. Walking into an Emberling Rod is always terrifying. I do not think I'll win this one, even though I am on top of their Ranger. I'm just waiting for the cast to completely destroy my squad. The taunts made things nice, though, actually, though. Caribou. The little taunts coming in clutch. Can my Ranger maybe turn this around? We actually do. Damn. Okay. A very lucky fight, in my opinion. Lynx check. What is going on here? Halal has the 1. And not much else. It is tempting. I am not going to lie. But I think I'm actually going to behave. And just let it be as is here. Going up against Forminga, so currently leading the lobby alongside Bora. Can I stop this win streak? My Lynx got immediately popped with that Graco stun. My poor Monkey doesn't necessarily have the damage outside of the Berserker Fury. Need to find some more attack augments to really start making that warranted. I probably shouldn't have, in theory, combined the fusion variants there. So with the Lynx now here, where do I want to move from here? I kind of want, of course, more fighters. Optimally, I think finding a Archie and then finding Riptor is my golden ticket here, going for something toxic Aegis-based. But I'm not taking that much damage. My units are still at least all right. The legendary augments are making it a little bit more worthwhile here for me. This little dash, though, is going to be rather annoying. It's going to keep popping in and out, as per usual. I need the rest of my team here to actually turn and burn here onto this dash, but it shouldn't actually go down. I need the stun. Where's the link stun? Give me the link stun. There it is. Perfect. But now the Tipo, it might be able to actually do this here, given how low my Lynx is. It's the second time I'm going to get killed off by an Tipo. Jeez. The AoE variant is the one I'm looking for. Riptor is here, so this is good. Could use a 5th Bulwark, maybe even in this instance. In fact, that might be the way to go, at least off the rip. Do something like this. 5 Bulwark online. Except I'd kind of want to do this the opposite direction. I would kind of want to do something like this, right? Yeah, probably let's do something like that. Go around, take the long way. Or Monkey's just going to ignore it, but just going to help take out the Rue. A very deadly squad coming out here from Boomer Mousepad. Evaporated my squad. What are they doing? It doesn't even seem to be that crazy in all reality. Had a lot of upfront bursts, but did not have the sustain, it looks like, to get the job done. Monkey hanging on with about 10% is going to help the rest of these bulwarks clean on through. Not bad. Do need to find some of my Toxics. I still need to find 2 Caribou and 2 of the Cryptors. Another fighter chip would be rather nice, I'm not going to lie. Fire, not necessarily. Damage, I mean, that's good. But what else is there? Nah, we're gonna go fighter. So we can turn yet another tank into a fighter temporarily. I can give that to Monkey for now. And I've hit this level, or this 70 credit threshold, in which I can think about maybe rolling to at least get to my middle stage evolutions, get my Archie, get my Caradulo, and then level up. Might not be a bad idea. I don't see myself using Totofi now. Energy Crate, though, is going to make things interesting. There's my engine. I'll take that. This will be valuable once Riptorus is around. Hetty coming on in is going to replace the Groko. I'll gladly 1-for-1 trade that. And now slow rolling. Or not necessarily slow, but gonna roll to try and at least find my middle stage evolutions here. This is definitely annoying, to say the least. I found a Riptor, but I haven't found a damn Caribou at all. That's actually painful. Brutal. Alright. Put the energy... Let's keep it here just for the disruption. Go on that side. Take my damage augments. That was a lot of credits spent with next to no reward. What on earth even happened? There's the 1 Caradulo, there's 2... Oh, there's like 3 of them, eh? No wonder I'm having a hard time. But what about even Archies? 1, 2... Okay, so I'm actually running into a massive contest here, and I was not paying attention. That's definitely frustrating. I could have been another level at this point here. The first roll did not work. I'm going to take the shield since I am a bulwark. There's 1 Caribou, so we'll take that. The Lynxes are literally like in my face. I wanted to behave and not go for it, but it's actually right there, to the point where I think it's almost stupid that I'm not. Let's get up to level 6. Potentially doesn't necessarily matter what I add in this instance, I don't think. Catch the dash. Let's get Riptor on board. Let's give you the Scion one. Give you... Okay, I'm a little too slow, it looks like. We're not going to catch a dash at all. The Weeks is on top of things, so it's going to fly on through into my Cling. Going to keep charging my Cling up, though. Does it get the roots off? It does still get the roots off, so I'm going to try and interfere a little bit. Need a big stun. Got a decent front line, but not enough of one as of this moment here. We will lose this one. There it goes. Yeah, went for Toxic Aegis, and apparently half the lobby is going for Toxic of some sort. Does anybody actually have Riptorus, though? It doesn't look like it, at least not yet. That won't change going into this one here. I've got a couple of choices to be made. There's one unit in particular that has potential for evolution for me, and I think I'm going to take it given how contested things have been. I'll take Archie, I'll take the tank augment as well. Maybe feed that one over to my Lynx for the time being. Had I not been able to get it, I probably would have taken the Penguin that does have the Phase Breaker. And, okay, we do hit our Toxic, so, okay, that's a big win. Let's move some of these over. Bang, bang, bang. Give you tank. Now, I actually do that, but I'm going to bring this back over here, because he actually has no value in holding that item. I've got the Toxic online. The next steps is to, I think, level up one more time, get better chances at finding Riptor, maybe throw Archelion on the board to get this Aegis going, and go from there. Declan having a C-Forest right now is tearing through the squad quite nicely. Definitely a rough start, but it is what it is. Okay, Squiz is showing up, and of course it shows up when I'm not going for Scion right now. There's my level. There is my Chelian. Space away a little bit. Let's supercharge our little Riptor. And try to survive excuse me, into this next round. Here versus Forminga. And see if I can lock in Riptor in these upcoming rounds. Right now, it's still not on the field, which is good for me big time. Apparently there was a Rampy that just nuked my entire team. My goodness. Damn. So I need to definitely hit the gas on trying to find this Riptor now. I have a ton of gold ready for it. Hopefully to get lucky on a couple of these rolls here. Given the composition at hand, I probably have too many bulwarks. At the same time, I liked that power spike of the, whatchamacallit, of hitting 5. Alfie is here, but it's not what I'm looking for. Lynx, I'll take you because you're here. Gonna hold at 70. This is just an NPC round. The Lynx aren't going to leave me alone, so I might as well pick them up. Clean this up. Hopefully we find ourselves something decent. Another fighter chip is going to get me into that 5 fighter range, which is good. The mule here is something I can also work with. Gets the, not the attack speed, but energy, no. Healing, yes please. Alright. Lynx is here. Hello, beautiful. Welcome back. Let's tank you up. Make you a fighter as well. Let's take away you, put you on. Let's move you. I can actually go for... I think we'd make a change of plans. This actually is so far working out quite nicely, but I need to position this accordingly. I still need to be worried about Aegis. Let's buff you. Messy, but we'll get it done. So with that, we were able to level up to... excuse me. Level on up to level 8. Took away one of my bulwarks to put a fighter on. Put another fighter on alongside the fighter chip, which is allowing me to have 7 fighters with Toxic Aegis. Might have been the power spike we needed, and this one up against Boomer Mousepad, who's been having a bit of a hard time too, to be fair, so I'm not going to toot my own horn yet, but this looks very, very good. But finding Rip Lance would be huge. That's what one I'm going to be looking for big time. Finding the Bulwark Imprint is actually quite nice too. Oh, but so is Omnivamp. Attack damage. Part of me wants to keep the Bulwarks going though, so I'm actually going to, in a very rare instance, go against the combat rhythm. Riptor over here. Keep the Toxics together. Something like this. And I need to keep looking for Riptor. I'm gonna replace the Crunk, or replace Kling with Crunk here in a second because I found that evolution as well. Riptorus is literally going for a Sunday stroll yet again. Come on now, get rid of Chakondi. Lynx is hanging on, is going to end up falling. Riptor in the line of fire. My Ranger painfully sitting there with a full shield still. Holy crap, look at that Scorpion go! There we go. We might be cooking now. With Foe showing up, we can absolutely replace Doka. Thank you, Doka. Thank you for your service. Kling we can take out. Put Crunk instead. Let's give it a fighter chip. I don't know if anybody's running air, and I do want the chance at finding an old phase breaker. Going to 30. Not going to find what I'm looking for. The Bora in front of me here does also have a Riptor, or Riptorus. So does Badmech, so I need to pause for a little bit what I'm pushing for. My bear did a good job of distracting this Riptorus for a little while. Can my Riptorus find their Riptorus, though, before too much damage is done? There it is. Okay, we should be able to take this one now. I think my Scorpion's snowballing a little bit too crazy now. Look at this thing swing! Keep going, buddy. Doesn't have big damage, but he swings fast, and that is going to help big time. There we go. Okay, so Boomer Mousepad's out. They didn't necessarily have anything I was looking for, so I will, again, pause on any sort of rolling shenanigans. Going to move Archelion over to the other side so I can boost up Riptorus here. I do worry about being a little bit in my own way based off of this positioning. I'm going to make a slight curve to set this up to hopefully allow for a little bit of a smoother transition up and around so that I can get out of the way of that Alfie and hopefully get a good angle here onto this tanks freely. Good stun from the Lynx, gets 3, just barely within range of my Archos. will end up falling. A lot of my alluvials end up falling after Sephora's cast, so that is scary. Or a shot. Where is the Emberling Rod? I don't see it actually making contact with anything. That roots, though, onto my poor little Scorpion is going to be too little too late. Bad mech is down, though, so here's the chance. Aura is short to follow here, too. Bear. Getting the red augment alongside this bear as well, going to be nice. I wanted to have, or I guess I kind of overvalued having the chance of getting the Fate Sealer or the Destructive Force Reactor. Kind of overvalued the Clumsy here in a little bit. Put this on you. That is the one that I was looking for. Even though there technically really isn't anybody who's going to be able to really take full advantage of it. Slide some of these over to the little foe. I definitely need to do something about my opener here, though. My alluvials are getting stuck on each other. More damage? I'll gladly accept. Fusion. Physical as energy. Sure, let's do it. Okay, frontline. Move. You can be here. Buff, buff. All the way to the edge. Do something like that. Can I find any of my fighters here? There's one Riptor. We're going to get up to Forest right at the last possible second here. And that may actually change who I put my Aegis onto. If I can survive this round anyway. Arctase flying on through. That's kind of scary. It was on top of a lot of my DPS units. Riptorus is still alive, though. Swinging away onto Arctase. He's a turn, but we're losing so many members. It's Ranger versus everybody. And that's not going to be good for me. Not good at all, but we're not dead. We're not dead yet. A mule up to there. There we go. That's huge. Can we find some more of these fighters? I need to go quickly, but at the same time, I don't want to miss anything. Come on, buddy. Where you at? That's annoying. Not gonna find it yet. Gonna be one short from finding it, so this is gonna make things annoying. Gonna make a very, very quick move. Put Forest there instead. Do the one-for-one switch. Not optimal. But if we're lucky, maybe we get another chance at this. Come on, Birdo. Right in the line of a Sinolf, but somehow my Forest is surviving, but not for long. That is an Umber. A scary Umber. I had to go up against the lobby leader, and we're going to pay for it. Could not find the Rip Lance. And we will fall in 5th. Unfortunate. Good games, though. Didn't help that I guess I kind of flustered myself a little bit off the rip. I don't think going for the flail was a mistake. I think maybe the toxic Aegis portion was a mistake. But I could have absolutely turned that into a, whatchamacallit? Some sort of bulwark and scion composition that maybe happens to have had Aegis on top of it as well. Maybe it was Harbinger, but I did not go down the right direction. I don't think Atlas was really challenged at all during that game, and I ended up still going for the toxic route. Glad we were at least able to get 5th, though, considering that we were so contested. So some tougher missions here. This one, get top 2. A stage 3 tier 5, that is definitely tough. The weekly mission you can just get through playing the game, so it's fine. Spend 80 credits in a single round. Damn, okay. But I'm very, very happy. I am on pace to at least get up to the battle board. To me, this is when I'll say, like, I completed my battle pass, so to speak. I know I can technically go up to here and get the points multiplier. That's an added bonus for me. Like, if I get this or if I don't get this, it's not going to be the end of the world for me. But getting the battle board is something I really, really want. Which makes me think back to the patch notes that we read a little bit earlier, when it showed off the default skin for Taiga Boreal. I shit you not, I'd buy that. I like that. I wish it was for sale and wasn't just a part of a default rotation. Like, I have the Crimson Wastes one as my default, because it's in the shop, and I know not a lot of people actually use it. Some people don't like it, and that's fair. But personally, I enjoy being by the snow or being by the water with my kind of nature aesthetics. And even though this is a poison pool of, like, green water, right now it's the closest I'm going to get that isn't just the normal default background. I don't necessarily need a beach aesthetic, like I don't care about the beach, but I like there being some sort of water nearby, which is why I really like the Brightland Steps one. I believe there's like a river or something around it. That I like. I like that a lot. Let's see, this worked on the last stream. Let's get suited up. I always try to match what I'm wearing, and I forgot to change my suit today. Just left it as my default links. Checking to see if there's any other Illuvium news or anything to cover while we're in queue here. And of course, thank you everybody for joining me here today, especially on the X side of things. I see that are a little bit of traffic there, and I thank you all for joining. But regardless of which platform you're using, I thank you for joining. Of course, I touched on Illuvium 0 a little bit. Of course, I'm currently in the process of upgrading my scanners all to level 3, so we can get the process going of collecting every single Tier 3 biodata. Thankfully, of course, each of my main 3 plots, anyway, had at least already a Tier 5 scanner. So we actually don't have that many Tier 3s to go for now. It's actually really crazy. Like, the hard part's done. In fact, maybe I can take a look at it real quick here. The hard part's basically done. I have all the Tier 1 biodata. You'll see these check marks here. Got all the Tier 1. Got all the Tier 2. I just naturally threw my Tier 5 scanners on all my plots without even focusing. I've gotten a lot of the Tier 3 biodata. We have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Only 6 to get? And that's pretty incredible. tier 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 more to get. And then 9 more tier 5s. So we're honestly in the home stretch, but the biggest problem is just going to be upgrading all of my scanners for tier 4 and tier 5, because even just trying to get them all to tier 3, I think it's like 70 Hyperion to try and do for each plot. And again, these are all tier 1s, so I get maybe, what, 38 Hyperion a day? That is going to take some time to do, and I'm debating on maybe even holding off on my my research to try and start saving ahead of time for that. If only I could take the fuel from my tier 3 plots and send it to my tier 1s. But no, that'd be kind of busted, so fair enough. But it's definitely something I'm looking forward to nonetheless, hopping on the tier 3s. My research labs are still, as we can see here on the right side. No, you can't actually see here on the right side. Let me fix that. Here on the right-hand side, I've got where it says combo. So this is where I'm trying to get my suit or one suit and one drone for every single alluvial. That is the next thing for my research tasks. So I'm going on through like the Archie line. I've got that. We're all set there. But like Axodon or Atlas, I still got to get through, and the rest of these, I still have a long way to go. I've got the Kuka line completely set and good to go. But that's my next research tasks here. I do want to try and get this done before the MMO comes out. Like, actually comes out. And then before any sort of skin system changes that they've hinted at in town halls, for example. Because I know they specifically do not like the fact that there are so many different suit types and skins per suit without actually looking any different. So that is going to be my goal for Illuvium 0. But we're back in action, and we're on Crimson Waste. More damage to those with more health than me. So that'll be the gameplay here. Smirnock is new to me. Declan, welcome back. Kinestis, first time in a while, maybe? I can't remember. Thanks, PQP. We got a pro in here. We have Rattler, who's new to me, Fully Packed, who's new to me, and Mr. Lancelot I've played on occasion as well, so a very experienced player in their own right. We'll do something like this to start ourselves off. Which links do we have here today? This one is going to be Virtuous Hydra links. Makes things interesting. I do like that. These augment components that I'm getting aren't necessarily aligning the links that I would want to play, but we'll see. Something like this. Do some sort of little surround. Hello, Lynx. I see you there. I see you, Lynx. Crafty little bugger sent the Valente all the way over to the other side, so it was almost going to go towards my my Fleesh. Thankfully, Groko is going to take the brunt of it, and this little ball in the corner style that I ended up doing is going to be enough to take this one down. There we go. I will take the small victories when I can, Lynx, because let's be honest, give you about another 10 rounds and you're going to whip my ass at every opportunity. I get it. Here it comes. I'll take it when I can. A Water Scion is there. I am just going to snag it and go. Finding a full Valente like that, it would be silly for me not to. Considering I think water might be on the table. So Anistis is going to have the blaster as well. Lynx found a boomerang. Oh dear, okay. That'll be fun. Then we're going to pop Valente down in the last possible opportunity. Go right towards the Flish. Let's get that off the board immediately. Their rogues can go play with Doka, or not Doka, with Groko. Stun is going to come out before it goes down. My Valente is still messing with their backline, so this looks pretty decent. Ranger there for the assistance as well. Valente, come on back. One final channel from the Flish is going to make things nice. I'm going for the right target, and actually that couldn't have gone any better there. Valente is min-maxing in this battle. Thank you, little buddy. I almost clicked on Windward Ward. I would have been pissed if I'd done that. I'll be looking forward to Tier 0 Overdrive being completely eliminated from the game. Little bit of an interesting mix to start things off. Considering I'm thinking this is going towards in particular, I might want to have something that stacks a little. Get my drone off the board so I can actually see. Shot fired from the Ranger into the Tianti. The fact that Lancelot does have Tianti is going to make things rather difficult. We might be able to burst through this front line. No, we might not even do that. So yeah, they just had a lot of firepower there. Good on them. Of course, having the Aqua Blaster does give me a couple of options, all revolving around a couple of these Illuvials I just ended up picking up, actually. So, normally you see Aqua Blaster, normally you're thinking the Rake in this instance, or you're thinking of the Umber. Definitely have potential to do some sort of steam action if I do wish to. Invoker is also a possibility, but the fact that the Tianti already has been made for one of the players is going to make it difficult if I want to try and roll for that. I could just opt to play a little bit safer and try to get to the late game, start looking for maybe the final pieces a little bit earlier. Say your Sinolfs or your Squizzes. Alright, Flish and Ranger are going to be able to clean that one up nicely. There we go. Okay, who had the Tianti at this point here? And what's Declan going for here? I do see they have the links. Oka, you can go. Something like this for now. Clean that up nicely. And quickly hop to Declan, see what they're doing. They do have a bunch of links already on the board. Considering it's a Virtuous Hydra Lynx, I do personally want to maybe go for it, but at the same time, if it's already like somewhat being contested, it's not going to be like, worth it to push so hard for it. I can either go for credit value or speed up an evolution. I'm slightly leaning more towards evolution, but the evolution did get sniped, so I'm going to just take Vermilia, or actually, Penguin. I'll take you for the attack in this instance here. Leaves the door open for Umber. And there is a Lynx. Let's get to the next level. Let's bring in Archie. And now I've got to decide, do I want to go for this or not? Declan, how many do you have still? Just the 2? Let's roll. That's a big one. There we go. Okay. So not only did we find a couple of our Lynxes, but we did find a couple of our additional units, giving me Harbinger because Atlas did evolve. So this is looking nice now. Still just has the 2. Nobody else has it. Get that last credit. I probably should have sold the... Oh, maybe not. That actually works. Okay. One more Lynx. I am 2 away from it. I think I'm gonna greed for it. We're absolutely gonna greed for it. Alright. Hello, beautiful. That virtuous Hydra Lynx is here. It is mine. Now I can worry about the rest of the squad here in just a moment's time. Its current position is enough to keep everybody safe with the exception of Valente, but of course that is the nature of being a rogue. You're kind of just a meat shield going after squishies at this point here. And my Ranger and Axon will kind of be the carries here in this instance, while the Hydra Lynx just keeps all of us alive. There we go. Perfect. So with this instance, I actually do not need RG at all because the Hydra Lynx plays that same role. You can go here. You can go here instead. Do something like that. And actually let you rest. Let's get another Scion. Put this onto you there, Hydra Lynx. Put the Riptors over here for now. And just let my Fleesh be a meat shield for the time being, but I think this heal's actually going to come out before the Omega, so it's actually going to stay alive even still for quite a while. And by the time the rest of these fighters come on through, my Hydra Lynx has a pulse ready to go, which of course does execution damage, basically, if I recall correctly. Damage based off of their missing health, so yeah, that's, when they show up to my Lynx and they're already hurt, well, that's when the Lynx does its best amount of damage, to the point where it actually outpaces the Tianti right now. But granted, it does also have 2-3 augments on top of it. So, it better be if it's getting that much investment. Okay, the stun I don't care about, because it already has a little micro stun. Omega damage, let's make this thing a snipe. That works for me. I will pick up the Caribou, but I'll just kind of leave it as it is. I'm not going to push any further there. A slight micro-optimization is to take Fleesh out and put Groko in. This will allow me to get the 3 Bulwark buff instead. Because having 3 Scions, it doesn't actually give me any benefit. So let's make that micro-adjustment. Give my tank line a little bit more help. To go up against Declan this time. A little bit of a baby corner composition coming on through. Does have their own little virtuous Lynx. But based off the way they're positioned, they're forced to spread out. Meanwhile, because their Groko was right in my face, my units didn't have to move really at all. So they got a ton of additional regeneration. Still going to be a tough fight, but we can see like my backline's essentially not touched in this instance. Tianti, fire away, why don't we? Big scared of Lynx, and yeah, we're just going to clean this up. There we go. Air imprint, no thank you. Fighter, no thank you. Tier 4. Tier 4, I think. We'll go for the Tier 4 units. So this, of course, is screaming one of 2 things. It's going to go one of 2 ways, maybe even both, depending on how the shop treats me. But basically, Tier 4, of course, is for Umber, but it's also for Scoriox. So if I do end up going for Scions, that's fine, just pick up Scoriox. If I do end up going for the Umber and Steam, well then okay, that works for the Umber and Steam. Heck, if there's a world, if I can somehow go to Disneyland and find both a Scoriox and a Umber, then I am in a crazy position. But the sooner that I could find one of those, the better here. So after this round, I might get myself up to level 6. Pick up Atlas. Get to 6. What is this, a fusion? I don't have any form of true sight. Do I need any sort of true sight? Doesn't really look like it right now, so I can greed for this one. Whether it be the Umber or whether it be a... whatchamacallit? Yeah, Scoriox. They'll still absolutely be value either way. Let's just do something like that for now. It didn't have the opportunity to get my proper thing on, but it is going to give me Valente just to kind of screw with them for a little bit longer. That is alright, all things considered. Let's see how the team does here. Anestus has that little Alfie. It's going to go right into my Tianti, but the Tianti is going to be able to tank it. I am onto their healers now. The front line is out of range of my links, but my back line is still here, doing okay. Not perfectly healthy, but still getting the job done. Ranger going to take the shot, but here comes the Omega right into the Alfie, and we'll clean up from there. There we go. The shield, I mean, I am a Scion. I shouldn't be needing that. Attack speed reduction, no. Just in case if I happen to get blinded. Okay. Squiz is here. I can probably bring you on board immediately. Let's reverse that, though, I think. Put you into the back. Have you kind of be a bit of a cover. Do something like this. So, almost 6-sided dice. Or 6 on a dice. Something like that. Squiz doesn't pack the punch necessarily right away right now, but it could help with a little bit of extra cleanup. Everybody's within range of the heal. The Groko will be the first to fall, but that is okay. That little dash is annoying, but it shouldn't actually be enough to kill. As you can see, as they start to get closer and closer here, that's where that Link's execution damage does so much work. Down to the Penguin, but that's literally 5-on-1. We got that. Now, while I do have Harbinger, I don't really have much use of Tsunami in this instance. So I wish I had, in particular, some sort of nature tank that I can, or a nature bulwark, that I can attune my Ranger to, so I can have Toxic on the board. Hella valuable if I could. Let's see. Going for, definitely not going for E, but we're going for the Mammoth. That also has a Rogue imprint. I don't plan on using the Rogue imprint, but there are some funny things that you can do with this based off of its positioning. And sometimes you can do some really funny, stupid stuff with it. So I'll keep it there, I'll keep it handy. And I have this Riptorus. I did something. Do something like this for now. There's always a potential of Jump Scare Scorpion, too. I can have them with the Rogue imprints. That's a crazy squad coming out here from Lynx. What did I say? Give them 10 rounds, and I'm sure they'd be kicking my ass, and that is exactly what's going on. They've got the Boomerang. One of the most sought-after weapons in the game, and they have a disgusting squad. 6 Fire Inferno with Templar Scion. Sheesh. Crazy, crazy squad, that's for sure. I'm going to give myself a little hole here. I do want Riptorus to be able to fight, like say catch the Ranger, catch a T-Roo or something like that. I'll make a move here in just a moment's time to kind of open a door. Everybody else can dive on into the rogues, and sure enough, we're actually going to get 2 of them stuck in here, so Riptorus does get the fight right away, while also keeping the Rampfire away from the team for the most part. It is still scary. It's a very scary squad. The Lynx need some big heals, and big heals quickly. We might still end up losing this, it does look like. Especially once Rampfight goes to the skies one more time. Some good damage, and that will get the job done. Okay, so just the NPC rogues this time. Nothing too crazy. Now that we've earned a bunch of credits, it is time to start putting it into levels. I think I actually put myself rather behind compared to a lot of these players because of that. Yeah, we have a lot of level 7s and a level 8 even in this game right now. So my squad was very, very strong, and it's been able to help me take minimal damage. But it's also let me have a nice position here where I can now start putting it into levels. Attack speed, no thank you. Stacking Omega power, how about we just pierce? Have piercing. Mammoth is here. Make the adjustment, get Mammoth into the fray. What do we got? Support crate. Unfortunate, not necessarily the ones that I'd be looking for, but do something like this, maybe? Brawler crate, emergency button, we'll take it. The biggest outlier right now, of course, is this little Riptorus. It does not fit in with the composition whatsoever. I think I see the adjustment that can be made here, because yeah, it's just going to run in and die because of the way this composition is. Tank line time a little bit of a hard time, and I still don't have the damage. I think my next adjustment will stop situations like this from happening again. Big stun. Stops the Sephora's from casting. That's pretty good. Lynx is eventually going to end up falling here. All the damage is essentially onto my Ranger in this instance, and I don't think we have enough to actually get that done. Got some good damage, but not good enough. I still don't have a nature front line. No, regen's nice. As we're going to make this adjustment, probably wise. Okay, so let's see. And bring Squiz back out. I like that. I have 3 bulwarks, so I don't actually really want to change that yet. Might have actually made the idea, or had the idea in my head a little bit too soon here. We'll have a bit of a middle ground here where I'm awkwardly sitting at 4, but Riptorus did not fit into the squad at all with the current setting. Well, that's a little unfortunate. My Mammoth moved way too soon, so my poor little Squiz got absolutely obliterated. Lots of damage being done by the Lynx, but it's getting smoked at the same time. Lots of low health bars, but no execution. Unfortunate. Okay, down to less than half now. Still doing alright in terms of economy. Don't want to sell this thing, though, because I know I'm going to give somebody a Rip Lance if I do. This is Cyclone. Okay. Do have the Clumsy, which is good. In fact, I might want you to shoot a little bit faster. Maybe do something like this. Trap Mammoth in a little bit longer. Try and see if I can stop any of these rogues from jumping in next time. Stopped Vermilio this time, so that's not too bad. Yeah, this time Squiz actually gets the cast, and it nearly gets the finishing blow on 2 of those Alluvials, but here comes the Enchanters. Yeah, we're doing good damage, but it's not going to be enough again. Damn. Alright, Declan. Hey, Mammoth number 2's here. Bang, bang. Leveled up to 8 now. 5 Scion portion of this build is now here. Optimally, I would have had a Sinalf instead, but it is not going to be here this time. Need to keep my Mammoth close to my squishies here. We're kind of extending very, very far into this composition. Can we take down this Umber with the Lynx? There we go. Thankfully, that's a good shutdown, but here comes the Sinalf on the other side. That's a Scoriox on the other side and a Sinalf. No wonder I couldn't find any of them. They're already being picked up quite quickly. Also having that Hydrolynx as well as keeping them alive so nicely. And we're going to get hit again here. We're on to death's door now, I think. Yep. Damn. In a position where I think I have to just kind of power roll to try to start leveling my Alluvials. I have all of the affinities or the composites that I'm looking for, but I don't really have much in regards to evolutions. Was a little slow on the draw on that draft deck. I was debating too long as to what I should be doing. Lura online now for fully packed. That's kind of scary. Start going now. Let's see what I can end up finding. There's that tank that I need, so I need to switch you finally. 1 for 1 toxic, so this is now 2 toxic. There we go. Finally, better late than never. Alfie's here now. Again, better late than never. Fleesh we don't need anymore. Oh no, that's fine. Scoop this. Support creates mitigation. Support creates resistance stealing. Sure. Squiz is here. Try to do it as we're supposed to. Something along these lines. Go, go, go. Try and find some levels. Mammoth is online. Not what I'm looking for. Why am I spending money on that? Got at least up to Heady, so I mean I've buffed up my squad pretty considerably. Including that 3rd Harbinger now that the Mammoth is here. Just can we find the value? Here comes the first chuck directly into many members of the squad. But the one thing other than that Mammoth shunt, I don't necessarily have AoE on this team. But just by single target damage, it looks like we're going to be able to get it done nicely. Okay, Pyrie is here. I think we make the swap 1 for 1 here. Do something like that. Okay. 3 closest Alluvials get buffed. Something like that. Something like this. And I'm about to do something stupid. Don't have a nature. I want to get Invoker. I think it has to be this way. I'll see something stupid. Jump scare mammoth. Here we go. Gonna dive directly into the back line towards the Fur Knight, towards the Quinks. It is there, firing away. Being an absolute nuisance. Here comes the first Invoker shot coming on through. Not too bad, but they're all kind of crashing into my bunker. The heals is good. The damage is good. Jump scare mammoth coming on through. It's going to get us into 4th at least. Alright, we're in the money. We're in the points. Alright, so then what I do as soon as this round starts, let's get rid of that. There. I do not want to expose that is the fact that is what that mammoth was doing. Okay, I still need to be worried though. Anistis, this is a squad that destroyed me earlier. It has a lot of what I want. There, they're gonna go chuck everybody at this thing, eh? So, we do it twice. It's an Alf. I'm coming for you. Get him! Some good beams coming through. The mammoth actually got them. Stun the Scoriox. Yes! This is working! Jump scare mammoth! Oh, the rake is still there. This is still not over. It worked! Okay. Jump scare mammoth, hang on. Alright. We're still absolutely within kill shot here. Declan's the one I used it on first last time, I think, right? So they might know about this. If I start spending, I think I might have to. I don't know. Try to do this again. Going right for the Ranger, right for the Fur Knight, right for the Arctase. Did kind of open the door a little bit onto my Scoriox. Vermilio found a way to get in, unfortunately. That's a brutal shot, actually. Might have made one move too many. Yep, I made one move too many, and it will punish me. It was fun, though. I enjoyed that. We will get 4th. We've made it past 1,300. Small victories. Quickly reboot. Sneak one more in if I can here. In a little bit of an odd spot. If the queue is quick, we can do it. Yeah, I was having a little bit too much fun with Jump Scare Mammoth. That's for sure. Optimally, probably should have just had it stay at home. I did not expect that Vermilio was actually going to be able to enter the bunker. Must have been just enough of a move of some sort to actually let it in. And not punished, because yeah, that Vermilio got the perfect shot onto my units. That was fun, though. Always happy whenever I get my links. And then finding the mammoth fully evolved. And having some fun with it with a rogue chip. That was fun. It's snowing a little bit on my screen. Maybe ever so slightly. I got one more game before we call it a day here. Get back to the video editing grind. And of course it's Brightland Steps. Okay. Of course. Quickly fix that camera here in just a second while the NPC rounds are going. Lynx this time is a fighter link. Relentless Hydra Lynx. That's getting fixed. I'm going to fix the snow. The slightest change of lighting can really mess with the green screen as I peek out my forehead, apparently. Okay. That's better. Okay, a couple of bulwarks to get us started here this time. This is for energy. Grab my engine. And with it being Brightland Steps, I can take my time. Don't have to go guns blazing. It's always fun to go guns blazing, but I don't have to. Along those lines. Fusion crates. The energy damage variants. Go like this. Try to cover my Dokka in this early game. To be able to chunk pretty well, at least early on. It is going to end up being focused now. I probably should have swapped the Blue over a little bit. Headset leg, Marsland, Bot Boy Real. Kiprioth. A lot, and how do you even pronounce this? But WJ Sky. Emberling Rod is here. So is Caradulo. And so is Archie. What I can do in this instance... We got Toxic already online. This is very, very fast Toxic. I'm gonna buff you up. Just for the meantime. And see where we can go from here. Broco is going to very nicely be able to handle Valente. Just keep them steady. Archie's heal. Keep me nice and safe. I think just with time, we should be able to get the job done here. Now the Valente is onto my healer, but at the same time, their front line is done. And there's a Felice. Alright. Nice clean start. Finding Caradulo so fast was actually huge. I love that. Zero. Nope. That's an insta swap. Nature transfusion. Not necessarily. Mitigation. No thank you. No thank you. No thank you. Do I want to go all in on something I don't know yet? I don't like it, but I feel like I have to go for the Champion's Focus. Super, super quickly into this one, even though I have no idea what my endgame strategy can be, just because those other drone augments were absolute cheeks for what I'm trying to, I think, achieve. Didn't help that they were stage 1. Headset lag with quite the rough team. Busting on through here. Can my Ranger try to turn this around? Wasn't a bad attempt, actually. The one unit jumping from one side to the other almost cost them. But I did just get some backup here. My Lynx is here. Just gotta get onto the field. I don't value the healing so much in this early instance, but having it was nice. We'll move on over. Lynx, get in here. Take the augments off of Flesh. I still want Flesh there for the sake of the Scion buff to help the Ranger. See if the Lynx can stay relatively safe as this Ranger shot comes on through. That's a nice built-up squad. Immediately all going to blow up. What we'd like to see. Gorilla's going to be making life a little bit difficult. Lynx should be able to clean up the front line. I just worry about this Gorilla that's dancing around my Ranger. Some decent damage, not taking it down just yet. There goes the Atipo. And then now the Lynx is going to come on through to clean things up. Actually, the Ranger even lived, so beautiful. Wonderful. With the next level, I will add Doka to the squad to now give my Lynx a little bit of assistance via the fighter buff. And essentially just be a meat shield for him for the first couple of seconds. Atlas, I would like to snag. Tempted to combine those augments to try and get the snowballing, the old Mendo skeleton where it would heal you and give you resistances. Our Kling is going to get snagged. Don't care so much about the fire. What I was going for is going to get sniped, so I'm going to take the Winks just for the sake of high value selling. Let's try to promote that economy a little bit more. Links-wise, we've got one other one, two of them on the board. How many do you have on the bench here? Doesn't look like any. Fix it. What do you have? None, it looks like. Tank augment in here, hollow stasis reactor. I'll gladly accept that. Give that to you. Let's micro bunker a little bit. Vince. Sell off the Winks. Part of me wants to pull the trigger on that Lynx. Yeah, a little bit late, but I think we'll try it. At least to try and get some of our level 1s here. There we are. If I was a little bit quicker, I would have had it into this fight, and I'm sure it would have helped out greatly. But I think we're still going to be able to hold on. That Caradula with the holostasis is going to come on just the right moment. And here we have it. Hello, beautiful. Fully loaded up and ready to go. Ready to rock. Lynx is here. Part of me wants to put the holostasis actually onto the Lynx. And then Doka, Axon, allows for Harbinger to get online here. I need to do something about that Fleesh, though. I probably should have it swapped, but at the same time, it's giving me 4 water, so don't mind having it. What a shot. Basically, that Valente got popped so quickly. Their poor Lynx is stuck in the back. Well, Big Brother's coming to show you how it's done, unfortunately, little Lynx. Beautiful. So finding Lynx here is going to allow me, especially here on Brightland Steps, I should hopefully be able to get a good run going. and just get win after win. Eventually, yes, I get it, I'm going to fall behind. But because it's Brightland Steppes, I have much more time, so much more time, to actually recover the economy. Might not be terrible. Ghirardello. Semicircle. With Archos. Ranger kind of parking it in the middle. Lynx, you're here to catch. Just gonna throw the augment onto the Archos just so that everything is being used, but I don't want to combine just yet. Unfortunately, the Lynx gets targeted down pretty quickly, but because it's got the holostasis, it is at least a little bit tankier, and it's naturally got a lot of health, so this is not too bad for me, actually. Yeah, this is actually a nice little setup here. The lowest thing that I have on my team right now was just the Archos, and it's healing quite nicely. Lancelot, who I believe was leading that lobby, will fall. Energy cost reduction, not yet, I don't think. So I just want it to come out faster. I mean, it can be a bit of a game turner when it does. It gets a cast off basically immediately, right? Like, we can swing fights stupid fast. Don't mind the idea. Because my Ranger is somewhat tanky, and... Oh no, I'm gonna end up blocking my Lynx. That's good. I have faith that the squad could tank it. There is a little Alfie on the other side. But I have faith that the front line can tank, and that's what I'm talking about. An immediate cast into that front line, and their front line's basically already dead. So much faster compared to the other one. And even if I do end up getting hit, I can at least heal if they're close enough. And there we go. Just like that. Okay, so the Omnivamp, in this instance, the 4%, it's rather weak. Lightning speed is okay. Second wind's okay. Might just do the regen? I don't know, that seems kind of weak at the same time. Let's just focus on getting stuff out fast. Let's just get it out fast this time and see. And see how that works. NPC round, load up on credits. Still doing alright. Let's see what else everyone is doing. I really don't see any other heavy focus on Scion. What's Lancelot doing? Not focused on Tianti, that's for sure. Synergies. I think Scion is what I'm looking for. I do want to go for this, and this way too, I can get my Ranger buffed up without having necessarily another one on board yet. Axon, you can hold on to that. Excuse me for the coughs. I'm definitely getting a little bit sick, it seems. Unfortunate. Level 7? Is it bad that I still think I could take this? My level 5 compared to Bot Boy's level 7. We're gonna try it. It's greedy. But their main damage dealer is a Pyre. Or Fury, whatever you want to call it. And I don't think you can swarm my Lynx. And it's getting, of course, that shield from the holostasis reactor no matter what. So not only is it DPS, it's also a little bit support. There we go. 2 levels down. Does not matter. The blinking for heal, that is a fun one. Fleesh finally getting an evolution. Alright, let's go Fleesh. This one might be a little... Do we want to push our luck here? 3 levels down? I see a lot of units, but I don't see very strong units. This might bite me in the ass, but let's do this. Alright, so my Lynx does get jumped on, but again, it's a lot of lower level alluvials in this instance here. Big swing going towards the 1. Slappin is going to fall. Now down to the Valente, cleans that up nicely. Everybody else is holding the line. My tanks have been swarmed, but at least they've held on long enough, and my Lynx is still healthy. Alongside the Ranger and Caradulo, Archos as well. 3 levels down. Does not matter. Let's see where to go from this instance. I'm I am last pick, so I have thoughts as to what I could want, but there's not necessarily something I can do about it. I see the funny button right there on that Chuko. It is going to get picked up, though. Heady, it was something I was definitely looking towards. Going to get scooped. I just have a choice between 2 stage 1s with red. Does not really matter. I'll pick the Rye in this instance, but it doesn't matter between either Gorilla. Either way, it's just going to be immediately sold. Okay. Leveled up 1. I do have damage augments, so let's scoop that into position. There's a crit for... Or I can just go for raw. Let's just go for the raw. Raw damage in case I happen to get Fury later. My Lynx goes directly towards the dash. Exactly what I need done. Gonna basically knock itself out in just a moment's time. There it goes. Clean up my bench a little bit here. Please shall keep you just in case I do need to push for a 5 Scion. Got a Bulwark here. I think, Doka, you've done what you've needed to, so thank you. And then potentially see if I can find some Sepphoris. But I'm not going to roll for it. Any of my extra credits in this instance is purely going to go into leveling me. I will stick to my word, stick to my game plan. This way level 7 is right around the corner. Had the random the random Groko there. What can I put on the board to assist with what I'm going for? Probably just another Bulwark, right? Yeah. We'll just put another Bulwark kind of right there. So it's going to be the one to catch the Chuko, which should let my Lynx come around, deal with this Lynx first that's attacking the Archos and just essentially charging my team's heal. And there we go, it's going to go down. I have a second heal around the corner. My Lynx can't go anywhere except to deal with the Chuko, or Chikoro. It's finally going to be released. Chikoro's going to get some free shots once that root goes away. But again, I've got tankiness, I've got shields. This isn't necessarily too bad for me. Gotta get through the Ranger, pop the Chikoro, and now we are running away with the tanks and the empaths. There we are. For this next level, we will hit level 7. For an additional bulwark, this will get us up to 5 bulwarks, so this is a good spike here for us. While I am going for Scions, I do not like going for Ace. Personally, just have a very, very hard time finding value with that Illuvial, but it's more of a skill issue than anything, especially since I'm going for some sort of semi-bunker kind of style. Ace just kind of ignores that. Okay, the Energy Booster and Omega Power Booster. The Omnivamp or the second Explosion? Do I roll for the second Explosion? Or do I take the Omnivamp? Let's try and see if we get it. There it is, second Explosion. Beautiful. We do find my Scions actually in this instance too. What a round. But I'm still not going to roll. I don't have to yet. Let's make sure we get everything utilized. One. This is almost like a micro Aegis of sorts. Have a very, very awkward little angle here. This isn't truly a bunker. And I think I still have some optimization that can be done. I did trap my Lynx actually, so that's no good. Gonna have to wait for one of my bulwarks to fall to kind of let me through. At least the Lynx isn't taking any damage, and it is going to provide some shields. But yeah, a little bit of a misplay. That's definitely unfortunate. But we'll get into the fight eventually. Onto the dash. Can we get the swing out in time? We actually can. So the untargetable doesn't mean anything. And I still have the firepower necessary to get this job done. Exis, one of the IPL quarterfinalists, I think, from last weekend. For sure made the top 64. Tier 4 units. That's not necessarily what I'm going for. Empath, maybe? Or Omega Power for health. I'm going to try Omega Power for health, as I do find Mammoth. Try to straighten out this little bit more. Again, this isn't like a true bunker comp. Like, yes, Archos is here. Physical damage. I still need to wait for my stuff. I did make a mistake slightly, though. Did not put the micro Aegis, or whatever you want to call it, into the proper position. So my Lynx isn't getting anything right now. Good stun from my little Scarabok. But my Lynx is being focused, and I think the positioning might start to falter me here. Nice little move there from my Ranger to try and get out a dodge, but it should fall before anything else. So now Lancelot's going to give me my first loss in a while. But that is okay. I still got plenty of health. I'm not even below 100 yet. Not here to get cocky, but we're looking good. Okay, 1, 2. Leveled up. Maybe Aegis-ish kind of buff. Do something like that. Let's just get this onto the field. Make sure somebody's using it. Excuse me. And in this instance, that's an Alfie over there, right? Okay, so let's bring Mammoth. Yeah, Mammoth can come join the squad. Nice, perfect little line of scrimmage, with the exception of the Cling that seems to still be taking damage, but it's just not actually swinging away. Shot from the Alfie laser is going into my healers. It's tough, but we're looking alright so far. Lynx is being targeted down. There is the beam coming out from Alfie. We need a good Emberling Bloom. We're not going to get it, though. But it does not matter. Lynx is still pretty healthy. Ranger's going to jump on in too as well now with that extra suit augment. Get into the fray and help destroy this one. Perfect. Link, you can join the squad up to Twine. There we go. We can now turn into Verdant Harbinger. I might, considering how spread out the squad is, debating on just not using Archos. Definitely thinking about it. Well, let's try again. Let's see how this one goes. This is a tougher squad. Lynx, can you get into the fight? Yes, you can. Going to go a long way around. Actually, not a bad spot. Right up against the Flood. Immediately popping it. Let's get rid of the healer. That looks good. You're onto the DPS already. Oh my goodness, what a path. I could not have asked for a better pathway there for the Lynx to take. And everything is just coming one after another. Yes, it's sitting in the magma, so that does hurt, but it's got enough damage, I think, to get the job done here. And then we're sitting inside the verdant puddle. Literally best case scenario in that fight. All right. Love to see it. There's only one thing in particular that I would really be happy to snag in this instance. Everything else is just kind of okay. Mammoth did get taken. That was what I was looking for. So I would like... No, I'm going to have to go for something red. I'll take Hetty, though. I don't think I necessarily have a spot for Hetty, but... worst case scenario, I'll just sell it. Irie is here. Double dashes as well. How many dashes are there in this game? There's 2, eh? Lots of Scorioxes as well, potentially. Clean this up. Let's see what we get. Immune and attack speed. Probably the immune and the attack speed. This we can use for emergency button or the takedown. If this was early game, I probably would have taken this, but let's get the emergency button. More mammoth. Okay, lots of progress towards level 9. How do I want to do this here? I don't know. Give this to you. This to you. This to you. It's going to be a little bit short, but it's alright. Headset leg, double dash, double rake rather, coming on through. My Lynx is going to get right into the action pretty well immediately, and it does have the immunization. Sinalf is making this a little bit nasty for me, though, but I am still sitting right next to my healer, which does end up dying, so not a perfect scenario. But their DPS line, for the most part, has been messed with. The Umber, or rather the little rakes, have fallen. I still have Verdant, and we are swarming down the Flood. We'll be able to get this. Sweet. Some players are starting to finally fall. So we're looking alright. Level 9 online. So I can pick my poison now. What kind of Scion do I want to join? In this instance, what is that all over there? There is a Sinolf hiding back there, so I do have to keep that in mind. Do something like this. Give you some attack damage. think Alfie for Alfie is the answer, but I'm going to try and make it closer so it's going to shoot into my Ranger, not Alfie. Let's see how this goes. Everybody's good little line of scrimmage, good little split. Shot onto their Sinolf, shot into my Ranger. That's exactly what I was kind of hoping for. Good explosions, going to take care of the front line up on the top side. Lynx is healthy-ish. It's down to half. It is sitting in the magma now, so this is still a little problematic. Alfie does go down. All of my guys end up getting turned on, though, eventually. Lancelot going to win this one. Not as convincing as the last time, but still very, very well. Tatofi better? Better late than never, I suppose. To get what I want, truly get what I want, I think I need level 10. As much as I want to be rolling right now, I don't think I can actually do that and expect to get what I want later. Is Alfie the best for this scenario? I do not think so. I misplayed that, so Squiz is going to go right in the front line, I imagine. Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing, but at least it's away from the dash. Still going to get one cast off, at least. Break does end up going down. Here comes my Lynx. Unfortunate, though, that the stun happens as my Lynx arrived, so it's actually going to get turned and burned on. Does not have any tank line support right now. Thankfully, the Omnivamp onto that... Okay, alongside that Emberling Rod shot. That's exactly what we were looking for. There we go. And they're literally going to feed me a Forest. Low-key. Might have been an answer that I was looking for here. Yeah, one of these already? I don't think so. Can move some of these over. Forest, you're faster. Stay behind the Lynx. Let's give this a try. And go. Go, my fighters. Gonna go one on each side, it looks like. Lynx doing alright. Forest has a decent angle into this tank line. I might need to give Forest the emergency button, though, because it is sometimes too fast for its own good. As that AoE aspect that I was kind of missing, though, outside of the Mammoth. Alright. I mean, if they're literally going to feed me Forest like that, I'm not going to complain. It does give Lynx a dive buddy. So I can do emergency button onto Forest now. And take these off to see what comes through this next round. Jump scare wifey. Yeah, Brightland Steps brought us into overtime here, so as soon as we're wrapped up this game, I shall be closing up for the night. Or for the night, for the day, rather. My Lynx is literally just chilling there. Couple tank augments. We'll eventually get there. We've got a lot of tank augments, actually. Let's start using some of these. So, Unstruck, deal some damage. Okay. Bulwark. Give a second. Second phase breaker. Give some Omega power to, let's just say, Ghost. Power up 1, 2, 3. Let's give my credits a roll here. About halfway through level 9 now. I very well likely will lose this, but the thing that I'm banking on is the fact that I am still with 85 health. That I can get to level 10 and then start rolling. Alright, Forrest, get in there, buddy. If we can destroy this Krunk quickly, that is a wide open Scion line. We've made it there, alongside the Mammoth. The untargetable already went off, though, on my Forest. My links turned onto the actual tank. That's so unfortunate. This was so winnable. But my targeting did not go as needed. Lynx is trolling me a little bit. There is one thing on here that I want. Everything else would just kind of be extra. And it's going to show up right in front of me. Beautiful. That makes a Goliath evolution. Yeah, bear with me for the noises. Definitely getting a little sick, unfortunately. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Alfie is right here. Fiery is right here. I think at this point I'm not going to wait any longer. Stay above 50, though. Level 10 is here. One more support augment for some additional healing. And let's bring Squiz to the party. Alright, can we get onto that Umber, please? Unfortunately, where my Forest is positioned is a little bit lackluster, but it is now going to be able to get into the fight. We do take Umber down. That is huge. Good move there from my Ranger, actually. It keeps my Forest safe from the Sinalf beam. My Lynx is now on top of the Sinalf. And we will clean this fight up. Just in... Did I end up snagging it? I did not, I don't think so. Okay. But when it comes to corner compositions, I can use one. When it comes to stray fights, I can use another. Harbinger online. Hello, Gear. How's it going? Hope you're having a good day. A big healer coming on through here for, Yep. Soaring awake. Oh, God. You alright? That Rip Lance looks scary, but it doesn't necessarily have any augments. Gorilla's going to dive on through, and now that it moves, it's going to go directly, actually, into my Forest. Can it get the job done? That is a scary Alluvial. Oh, do end up getting it. But this is definitely not a clean fight by any means. Move 2 friends in 2 days and then pulling outside. Yeah, fair enough for being sore then, my goodness. Hoping everything went well. You do take the hit in this instance. Forest and a Phosphorus possibly be something that I'm looking for. Under. I don't have much time left. There is Squiz. Octius. One Birdo. Alfie's here too. Where is that Sinalf beam going to go, I wonder? I think I'm just going to put Octius all the way to the edge. With hope that my line of scrimmage spreads out enough. This actually is a pretty brutal line of scrimmage. It's going directly into the Sinalf beam. This does not look good. Goes right across my tank line. The stun's going to come out too quickly. My phase breaker's already been activated. I mean, we're fighting hard. We're still not over, but this is not looking good. Got one more life here. Wasn't a lot, just heavy. Yeah, that's always the worst. Phosphorus, can I find you? We can, actually. Oh my goodness. Right in time for this NPC round. So just the one away from full Scion as well. Kind of want to keep Lynx on the board because at the same time they're the lifeblood here of this Phosphorus, giving it the extra damage. Oh, fair enough. No worries. I'm glad I could catch it for a little bit here, though. Unfortunately, we'll be closing up shop here after this game. I'm actually a little bit over time. Brightland Steps really slowing me down here today, but that's okay. Legendary crate. Oh, hang on. Dark King Conduit, take attack damage and turn it into Omega Power. Give that to Phosphorus, I think, and that'll be absolutely ridiculous. Attack damage into energy damage, I can't give that to you. There isn't really anybody truly doing healing for me right now. Going to try my damnedest here. Don't have a lot of augments unused. There's my Scion. Supercharge closest 3. Support Sinolf. 3 Harbinger, 5 Bulwark, 5 Scion. For my life here in this game. Get in there, Phosphorus. Good shot from the Sinolf, going right through everybody alongside the big stun from the Goliath. Stun from the Mammoth as well. Get in there, get in there, get in there. This is a tough one. Well, basically right after this, it's right back to the editing workshop here for me. Nothing too crazy after that. He might be able to hold. My fighters died, but my Harbingers live. Octius is here as well. We'll get it done. Final 2. I was gonna say, just let me level up, but actually I have nothing to level up. And I can't really save anything now, can I? Duo left, maybe? Duo left online. Big old pistol shrimp coming on through. Phosphorus, where are you gonna go? Right for the Exalted Gorilla? Take him down if you can. Big shot from the Duo F through multiple units, but my Phosphorus is being taken down. Focus down, the untargetable is going to come in clutch here. Buy me hopefully a few more seconds. Nice shunt from the Mammoth, but I'm stuck on the Gorilla, and I think we will end up losing this one. Well fought, Kiproth. They will take me down this time. We do get a top 2, so we do actually end up completing our Battle Pass objective here for today. And we continue to gain some rating. So very, very tanky squad coming out there. The Adurius was absolutely keeping everything alive. Felt like everything was so deadly. Like multiple Mystics here, if I do recall correctly. 1, 2, and what they end up turning this into? A Berserker? Yeah, fair enough. Very, very tough squad. GG's. I'm a pistol shrimp, yeah, basically. But it is back to the editing workshop I go. Time to start clipping. Of course, we had the IPL 500 that just happened last night. No, it was too late in the game to be a wet noodle fight. I get some editing done, and then hopefully, if I'm lucky, a little bit later, get to lay down a little bit because I can definitely feel the sickness coming on through. And I don't want to be sick for the IPL 1000 and the last chance qualifier the next 2 weekends. But of course, everybody tuning in, regardless of which platform you're on, definitely thank you for being here. If you'd love to come hang out again, whether it be following on X or Twitch or subscribing on YouTube, would love to have you back once again. Gear, thank you for chatting. Good to see you as always. I hope the rest of your day and the rest of your week goes well. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll see you on Wednesday, but of course that's going to be when I'm doing my next live stream. It will be on Wednesday, same time as today. So without further ado, I gotta crash. Thank you all again for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.